Putting Jamie on the hot seat here on Fantasy Football Today in 5. We've got buy or sell, and we're going to start with a rookie quarterback. Jayden Daniels, buy or sell. Jayden Daniels' rookie season will compare to RG3's in 2012 when he was the number 4 quarterback per game. That was 3,200 pass yards, 815 rushing yards, and 27 total touchdowns. Pretty good.
I'm going to sell, but I think he's going to be fantastic. That's just a huge ask. And obviously, RG3 was amazing that year, and unfortunately was not able to build off of that consistently because of all the injuries. But I don't think that the passing numbers will be there. I think the rushing numbers will definitely be maybe better than that. But the passing numbers, I think, will fall a little bit short. So, like Jayden Daniels, is a top 12 fantasy quarterback this year. Really struggling with him versus Caleb Williams as who's the best rookie quarterback for fantasy this year alone. Right now, I go with Williams, but they're both very good and high-end potential, and both have the opportunity to be top 12 guys.
RG3, by the way, did that in 15 games, 24 fantasy points per game. Buy or sell, Brock Bowers will average 7 targets per game and be a top 12 tight end.
Buy that. Right now, he's tight end 9 for me, and I think he will be the second most targeted player for the Raiders behind Devontae Adams. I don't think that the Raiders drafted him to not use him and use him in a high regard. And so love the talent, love the prospect. Didn't love the landing spot specifically from a quarterback standpoint, so we'll see what happens long-term for him. But for this year, yes, I think 7 targets per game and to be a top 12 tight end is not a huge ask given the guys that, you think about that are behind him. So there's clearly, Dallas Goedert, Pat Freiermuth, Jake Ferguson, David Njoku for me. Those guys can all pass Brock Bowers, but I think he's got top 10 upside, not just top 12.
Okay, 119 targets would be 7 per game over 17 games. Buy or sell number 3, Jonathan Taylor leads the league in rushing yards and is a top 2 running back in fantasy points per game.
I could buy that. This is an offense that will run the ball to a high level. We have not seen him with Anthony Richardson, and history tells us that running quarterbacks open up a lot of running lanes for running backs. And so guy that led the NFL in rushing once upon a time, dealt with some injuries, contract concerns since then, can definitely get back to that level. Shane Steichen's offense, I think, will run the ball to a high level. And so I can definitely see that happening for Jonathan Taylor.
I'm going to buy half of that. I'm going to buy that he leads the league in rushing yards, but go back to 2021, I want to say. Derrick Henry, 2020, Derrick Henry had 2,000 yards, I think. And he was RB6 per game and RB4 per game. There we go. In full PPR. So I don't see Taylor being top 2 just because of the catches. Okay, let's go to Deebo Samuel here. Deebo Samuel will be a steal in drafts and have his second best season to date. Buy or sell?
We just got finished doing a whole show on wide receivers ranked 10 through 18 for me. So I don't buy that, but I'll put an asterisk on it. If Brandon Ayuk has a significant holdout, then I think Deebo Samuel can get to this range. So if there's Ayuk digs his feet in the sand and says, I am only going to play the games I need to play to accrue a full season to, get myself, the year of service, and then gets out of San Francisco, then that could happen for Deebo Samuel.
Buy or sell number 5. Kyle Pitts will be a top 3 tight end. Buy or sell?
I'll buy it. We know the potential 1,000-yard season in his rookie campaign has, been allergic to the end zone, but now Kirk Cousins comes along and hopefully everything falls in line for what we said was a unicorn player, coming into the NFL, coming out of Florida. Superstar talent, I think will be used the right way in Zach Robinson's offense. And if he can get to that 8+ touchdown range, I don't think he'll get 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. I think that's a huge ask for a tight end, but if he can be 808 and 75 catches, that'll put him in the range of a top 3 guy. So probably the other guys have to fall off in front of him, but I can see it happening.
I think Jamie's more buying that it could happen, not that it will happen.
Correct.
Certainly has that potential. And finally, buy or sell, Heath will regret being as high as he is on Calvin Ridley, wide receiver 15.
I would imagine if you look at all of our rankings, there's probably 5+ guys that you'll all say, everybody can look at and say, why? And for me, that's the one for Heath one of them for Heath is why. Like a wide receiver entering his 30s, going to a new team, quarterback that's unproven, still some proven talents around him. And I just don't expect Ridley to be better than he was last year. At best, I think he'll be as good as he was a year ago. So top 15 is not something I can get behind.
That's Jamie. I'm Adam. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Fantasy Football Today in 5.